Alley-oop, that's the way the sport go. Stay the course though, this that skill oversized sports show. You screaming, this is what I'm all about. Alley-oop, 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 alley-oop. Throw it up, throw it up, throw it up, throw it up, throw it up. Main and Rockstar Q.
Yo, what up, the certified legend main event. This is the Alley-oop Sports Show, not your ordinary Alley-oop.
And it's your boy Rockstar Q. You know how we do, man. We always outside. But it's going to be dope today, though. It's about to be dope today, you know what I mean? Because it's a special. It might be the first ever. Might be another Soulja Boy moment, Pop.
Who we got
I ain't going to lie, man. We got you today.
What?
We got you today, man. I'm going to be interviewing you today, man. You know what I mean? Because
crazy, yeah.
A lot of the people don't understand, you know what I mean? Like, it was different. Like, a lot of people always ask me the question of what it was like being the son of a legend, you know what I mean? Being the son of someone so highly touted, you know what I mean, in the streetball world. So I'm gonna interview you today, man. I mean, if that's cool with you, man. I mean, we trying to, make history here, man. First father-son interview for real. You know what I mean?
JC, let me ask you. We supposed to have a guest and somebody canceled? Y'all must seem like y'all made this up real quick. You know what I mean? Like, what y'all got going on, man?
Nah,
so
yo.
you gonna interview me?
Yeah, I'm gonna interview you, man.
All right.
You know what I mean? Because everybody want to know. I know everybody want to know. They got the questions. It's one of those Soulja Boy moments, man.
Yo, listen, if you watching this, we need you up here. You know what I'm saying? Need you up here, yo. You know what I mean? But this one our Soulja Boy moments. Right?
So we're going to get right into it, man. So for those that don't know, Waliyy Dixon, a.k.a. the main event, a.k.a. the coming attraction, a.k.a. the kid from over the water, a.k.a. Wawa. I mean, if you know, you know. Rucker Park legend everywhere you go. That's my dad. Hey, I'm going to let him, you know what I mean, say a little something before we get into it.
What you mean you going to let me say something?
Like, say
you
what
interviewing me? So you going to let me say something?
No, I'm saying if you had something, you wanted to say real quick. That's all.
Nah, y'all threw me off. I could have verse or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But
so look, let's get right into it, right?
Yeah, interview me.
It's safe to say for those that don't know, you was cut in middle school.
Yeah, 6th
before
grade
playing basketball,
grade.
You feel me? So what was that like? Like what did that feel like? That whole moment of you being cut, not being able to play?
So just to backtrack a little bit, I was a kid that played like all different sports. And I gotta give a lot of credit to my stepmom, Skeetsy. For those that know Elizabeth Dixon, you know, Roselle, whole school district. It started with her, you know, and she would take me around to the different parks, play baseball. We used to play knock hockey, and she would have me in the gym. But when I got cut, first of all, I thought I was going to be a shoo-in.
Okay.
Aunt Debbie.
You felt like you was good,
you know, she was the principal at Grover Cleveland. She was the principal there. And the first year I went out my 6th grade, I got cut. So then the 7th grade, I got cut again. So this time, you know, everybody that knows, but I don't know how they do it now. But back in the day, you go down to the gym.
It's a paper right on the wall, yo.
So the second year,
with a little glass joint, right?
I look right on the window. I ain't see my name on the first sheet, first page, and then I flipped it over and there was no names. I said, "Dang, I got cut again." And at that time, you know, I'm from South Carolina, you know that, from down in the country, in the woods, they say, you know, grew up on Black River Road. I went down there with my cousins and Pilster, Ski, Sherman, Jimmy, Tony, Loney, God bless them, you know, just to name a few, the OGs, which was my cousins, and they would just, Ike, they would just rough me up. Show me some stuff.
Listen, I don't really like giving out secrets because it's my dad. But if y'all want to get that bounce, go chase some chickens. If you know, you know. Go chase some chickens. Go down south and go chase some chickens. If you know, you know. I don't even got to say too much, but you know what I mean? That's what he talking about right there.
Yeah. So they had me doing some stuff with the grass. It used to be grass. We had the wooden backboard, and you know, and I got a little better. So a lot of people ask this question. They be like, "Yo, you from Elizabeth, Eastwick? How you wind up in?" Especially shout out to Ben Canalino. He'd be like, "Yo, how you wind up in Linden?" And I told him the story. My mom came up here. Well, first my grandmother. Shout out to my grandmother. God bless her, Nana. She came to Linden back in the day. My mother came to Linden, and that's how on the weekends I would come out to Linden. And I said, "Mom, I'm coming to Linden." I got cut. I went to Seoul. I'll never forget. Went to Seoul Middle School. First day, It was dope. Met a couple good people. I met actually Nisa F.
Okay.
Nisa F. Mother, Khadijah, Didi. She was one of the first ones. I think she was transferring too. We in the guidance counseling, stuff like that. Shout out to my man, God rest you, from down Linden, DLP. It was dope. So when tryouts came out, listen, my name was first on the list. Felt bad for whoever name wasn't on the list. I know the feeling, you know. So David Fish, Akil Taylor, was John Manning on that team? I can't remember, but we had an undefeated season. And then I remember.
And this was 8th grade.
This is 8th grade.
Okay.
And I remember the coach. Now, mind you, I was playing Rucker at 15, so it's right during that time when I started, you know.
To really find yourself.
Yeah, and I remember the coach. I think his name was Mr. Hakowski. And it's a funny story about that with your grandmother. And he said, yo, because I think Maxon Plainfield had a player that was dunking.
Maxon was always nice.
He was like 6'6", 6'7". He was
always had somebody like that. Yo, Maxon, I never understood how they did that, but they always had one dude that was tall as heck.
And the coach would always tell me, he was like, hey, just turn the ball over. Just turn the ball over. And I think the last game, I don't know if I caught a dunk, but remember now, I was still playing football. So that football season, I came coming from football practice, walking through Fourth Wall Park, and I had my cleats on, and I dunked it. But that's that. But anyway, I came to Linden. We had an undefeated season, and Grandma, you know, she was in the medical field and stuff. That's where she did most of her, you know, her time.
Yeah.
And she came home one day and she gave me a letter. This is years later, years later. She gave me a letter, and I'm trying to read the letter. I'm reading the letter, and it was like, you was one of the greatest athletes. We had an undefeated season, and this is Mr. Hakowski. She wound up watching over him, you know, when he was in the hospital and stuff. So
that's crazy.
That's crazy how the world is and the power of that basketball. But that was, you know,
so that was like that was like the beginning of main event. Yeah. For real. So So I'm saying, you saying so 8th grade, not the beginning of main event, but that was the beginning of Waliyy Dixon. That was the beginning of you becoming
finding myself.
Yeah, finding yourself as a player.
When I came from down south, Tyrone Givens, Givens, he was my coach at PAL. Shout out to him and Steve. He was my coach at PAL. He would be like, yo, man, you shoot with 2 hands. Because I used to shoot with 2 hands, like this, 2 hands. So I always give a lot of credit, besides those that was with me when I was just in my backyard shooting around, P, Side, my sister Kim. But, man, Tyrone Givens and Brian Crawford. Uncle B, Coach B, that's who I give my credit, because I learned a lot from them.
Uncle T, I love y'all, man. Y'all already know how we do.
So that's 8th grade, and that's also when I met Chicago.
So Uncle Chicago, that we gonna get into him a little later. Yeah. So going into your freshman year of high school, you was what? Did you start automatically? Was there any challenges that you felt when you going into your freshman year?
So what happened was, my freshman year at Linden High, we scrimmaged against St. Anthony's.
Coach Hurley was there?
Coach Hurley.
Okay.
I think I had like 30. I
mean, somebody say that he had about 28. He had about 28. Look, he had about 28.
So however,
he had about 28. Hey Jay, he had about 28.
Well, I put it like this then. I had 28 dunks. However it went, you know, and I had got offered to go play for St. Anthony's, and Grandma, my mom, she was like, nah.
Was it the commute? It was the commute.
Yeah, she wasn't. She wasn't even. You know what I'm saying? She ain't really.
Jersey City that's a little trip from Linden.
She was
for
not
sure.
with it. That's why you better thank your mom. And she's taking you behind. But I know this about me, but one day I'm going to interview you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
But we'll get to that.
But
Grandma wasn't with it. She just, at the time, it was different. She wasn't going to let me get on no public transportation. And my freshman year, I wound up starting. I played with Antoine Allen, Reggie Jackson, God rest my brother, Tariq Saunders. We had a dope team. I think Shelton Champagne was on that team, Raheem Hutchinson.
Varsity.
Okay. Varsity.
Freshman, y'all hear this.
Varsity. But what happened was, man, like, my high school coach was like, I don't want like this one like that, God rest him, but he was like, he didn't really teach me a lot about basketball. You know what I mean? Besides, y'all gonna see something in their life. So, you know the story. You know what I mean? I know
the story. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna keep it to ourselves, but we know.
So he was known to like number one, not pick players from down Linden. He looked like, yo, they're in the boondocks. But that's what we need them down Linden players. I needed Big Ock. I needed these guys that he didn't want to pick up from down Linden. But we wound up having a 14-17 season. And the guys who I started over that were seniors, because the coach was known to not start seniors. Like, that was crazy. So they quit. Shout out to, yo, L Mac. Yo, I wish, yo, bro. L Mac and my man Andre. Yo, listen, if y'all would have stayed, our record would have been totally different. But I learned a lot from those guys, you know what I mean? But we had fun. That's most important. We had fun. But it was a good experience, you know, being a freshman. Because I never was a kid to be like, yo, it's popular, it's something big thing to be a freshman, play varsity. I just wanted to play the game. You know, at that point, I wanted to, like, prove myself. And then you talking about AAU and all that was in, you know, kind of before that. So it was a good experience for me.
So that freshman year, that's when Rucker started, right?
Yeah, Rucker, well.
Or was it AAU first? Or what? Like, I don't know how to, like.
See, back then, you wasn't like.
I think you was like 15, 16 around freshman year.
Yeah,
so
like back then, it really wasn't like, AAU was a little different. You know
it was like two teams, right?
People don't know, like
it was like two teams.
Pete Crawford, no, you know what I mean? I don't know what no statute of limitations, but it was a couple games where we was getting envelopes, you know what I mean? So, but AAU was really different back during those times.
Yeah.
You know, everybody didn't have an AAU team, and we was like every game was what they call it now, live period. Like, every game was a live period. You're talking about you playing against Mr. Basketballs, Damon Bailey and guys like that, you know, but that's just that AAU side. But that high school thing, that freshman year opened up some doors. My first letter came from Rutgers. And not only that, they show a lot of people would get my name spelt wrong. And that's kind of when I got I think freshman year, that's when I met Chicago. Had a pretty decent freshman year, and then now I'm really like, okay, TV3 is out. I'm just wilding, you know. I'm just getting at it.
So high school just was I can't say it was a breeze, but it was definitely 1,900 points, and most of it was dunks. It's different.
I had 1780, 17,
it was
something
about
like
it was
that.
about 1790,
It was very close.
something like
500
that.
was dunk.
Yeah, I mean, but it's definitely different when it's coming from a fact that, I mean, you had problems with your coaches, you got cut, you know what I mean? So it was reasoning for you not to even stay there. You know what I mean? You had opportunities to go somewhere else, but you still chose Linden. You chose to, you know what I mean, do what you need to do. Y'all definitely had a great year. At one point, y'all won counties.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? So that's definitely a big deal, right?
Going into my sophomore.
Yeah, like sophomore into junior, senior year, it was something different, right? So from that time, during that time, did you always know, like, I know that 8th grade year and freshman year, it's kind of like, you feeling it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though you nice, but it's kind of like you don't really know. But when you got into them sophomore years, junior, senior years, like, was there ever a time when, like, was there ever a moment when you just had like I'm that. Like, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was one of those moments, like.
See, it wasn't, all right, so you got to remember, we played a lot of basketball. So I wasn't a player to be like, it may sound crazy, like, but I didn't have no really expectations.
Okay.
I just wanted to go play. Like, I never sat with my team. I killed Telly. Like, we never was at practice like, yo, yeah, we want to win. We want to win the states. We want to this and that. You know, we were like, yo, we win the counties, but it was never really. It wasn't like I wasn't privy to have a coach like that was pushing that. Like, you know, for some reason, he wasn't pushing that. Like, that wasn't locker room talk. Like, yo, you know, when you see these movies and when you see these teams, like these winning teams where, you know, the admiration and you know, it's like they got a goal that's set. It wasn't, the process wasn't like that. I ain't had nobody with me, like, right there, like, yo, you know, like people just wanted to come see me perform, put on a show, and I was cool with that because, like I said, I really just love to play the game so much, but I ain't never really get caught up into the stats of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I just, like, that, can't nobody on the team say, like, you know, even my guys, you know what I mean? Like, we can't say, like, we got together and was like, yo, we're going to win the states coming out the gate. Like, it was like, however the chips
happens.
The chips fell. I know I'm going to get mine, you know, and it wasn't all about me getting mine, but I just wanted to play the game, man. I love the game of basketball. I know what park basketball did for me, street ball did for me, the blacktop did for me. So my thing was, any opportunity I got a chance to show my skills, show the stuff me and Reek was working on in the yard, the weird shots, the 360 layups and all that stuff was premeditated, and then it just started happening, you know what I mean, off of instinct.
Okay. So now we about to get into something crazy though. So for those that don't know, shout out New York Gauchos. You know what I mean? My dad got the opportunity, for those that don't know, I'm going to let him explain the story, but you got the opportunity to either go to the McDonald's All-American game or go to overseas to hoop for AAU. So what was that decision like? Like, what was that? How did that even work out? Like, how did you, I know as a young, I know the story, so it's kind of like I couldn't even think that I could be picturing. I wouldn't even know what to choose out of that. Like, but at the time, like you said, it was different when it came to AAU.
Man, once again, so by the time we go by my senior year, you talking about, I'm one of the household names at EBC Rucker Park. Shout out to Mousy, my brother.
Shout out Uncle Mousy, yes sir.
My brother, you know, that's why I met him at me and Grandpa. It's like a restaurant right down the street from Gaucho Gym. And we was in between the restaurant and the gym, and Mousy came up, whatever, met him. And, like, that was just, my senior year was crazy because it's like, once again, I wasn't on no script. Like, I didn't know I wasn't on that, what they call traditional route, or I wasn't.
You ain't really think about
I just was like, you know what I mean? I'm balling. I'm getting it in now, you know, because back then they had the TV3. Like, that was something everybody wanted to be on. They had the Star Ledger.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The Daily Journal. They had, so it was more like, you know what I mean? Like, you going out. That was our social media. So I always wanted to put on because, to me, every game I was hyped for. Every game I was hyped. So my senior year was like crazy because I'm main event. You know, I'm wilding. Like, so it was crazy.
But so you decided to go to.
I don't even know if I answered your question.
Nah, it's all good because you're getting back into your bag.
Remember,
It's okay. That's what we do. This is not scripted. It's not scripted. Listen, this is not scripted. We got a whole. It's a whole journey. You feel me? Like I said, it's the first ever. So we gonna go pop around. But so during that time, was the McDonald's All-American game a big thing? Like, was it like
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like was it a big thing?
So how that came about when? That's right, my senior year. Because I was saying about my accolades at that point, what the temperature I already had set at that moment, my basketball career. So back in the day, AAU, like when you play for an AAU team, that's why you always hear me talk about like building programs. I was fortunate to be a part of built programs. Well, I was a part of a program that was building from the muscle, from the dirt, from the grind, whatever you want to call it. Y'all know, you're a North Gram.
Shout out North Grams.
You're a North Gram, you're a North Gram for life.
You know that.
So B. Crawford, shout out to Mr. Wimberly, Dave, everybody who, like, as I get older, and me and B, he tell me the things and trials and tribulations that we didn't know about. Some we start knowing about, and we start contributing however we can. And then I was able to play with the Gauchos. We played against the Gauchos. I did my thing. Lou Almeida was like, yo, could we use them for some tournaments? And B. Crawford was like, yeah. See, back in the day, you couldn't play for no other teams. It wasn't you going over here this week, we was building programs. And that's what we was doing at the North Rams. Gauchos was already a built program. And it took me years and years. And I asked Coach B, I said, yo, and we family. I said, why you let me play with the Gauchos? He said, yo, why? He said, we was never going to go overseas. You know what I'm saying? B keep it 100. He said, we never was going to go. Our roster was like Florida.
We was never going to go overseas.
The UD, what you call what they call that league they had that everybody would play for. I forget what it's called, but it's come to my mind. But anyway, we was doing all that, North Carolina, South Carolina, VA, and then we was all playing for the main thing that was in Baltimore. I think it was called the Youth Games.
Okay.
That was like Olympics for like the AAU circuit, whatever. And I had a choice. I got picked for the McDonald's game, and I don't even know if it got to the point where, like, yo, we put them on a selection, whatever. I wasn't going. I don't care. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, because I was like, yo, I never was gonna go overseas. Like at senior high school, even starting younger than that, you never thinking you're going over to know where it's going to be cobblestone.
Yeah.
We in Leon and Annecy, and I'm with Stephon Marbury, Felipe Lopez, Mo Brown. Like, we had a crew. You know what I'm saying? So
That was a different type team right
once
there.
again, I wasn't, I wasn't like, that wasn't like how it is now.
It
like
still
all this
wasn't-
stuff.
it still
Man,
wasn't-
that was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that didn't mean
It
nothing
was
to
regular.
me.
It was regular.
I didn't know how important it was, but that McDonald's game ain't mean nothing to me. At all. I'm overseas for like 3 weeks. Lou Adameda, shout out to him. He bought everybody pocketbooks, grandmas, your aunts and all that. So, man, I had a great time, and I don't regret it.
Hey, I mean, hey.
I got a McDonald's thing now. So if they think I'm sorry, McDonald's, but listen, man, I got y'all app. You heard?
Yeah. So all right. So that was a turning moment for real though, because like I said, that was a big decision. As a senior in high school, you could go to maybe one of the prestigious All-Star games or go overseas and play basketball to where, I mean, like you said, as a senior in high school, you don't think about if you're going to be able to play overseas at any point. Mm-hmm. It just so happens that you were able to. We'll get into that, though. But, yeah, so heading into your freshman year of college now. Now we going into Rutgers. Now, first of all, let's backtrack. Let's backtrack all the way to where when it came down to your decision of picking a school, I know it wasn't normal. Like, I know it wasn't how it is now, where you could take a lot of visits. You only had 5, right? Mm-hmm. So what was that like? Like, what was that energy like? I knew Grandpa and them. I know Grandpa and Grandma and them didn't really know much about the different colleges, but take me through that.
So it was some places B. Crawford was just like, yo, Tyrone Givens, God, bro. He was there, like, yo, don't, certain places was like, don't go. You know what I'm saying? A lot of schools, I didn't even open up the mail because they had my name spelled wrong. I had a whole garbage bag for that.
That was the first part. Y'all listen. If they spell your name wrong, get them out the door early.
I didn't care what school it was. So if y'all didn't hear from me, y'all spelled my name wrong. My name is spelled Waliyy. Got it from my uncle, God bless him, Jahi. And my name means love and protected by the Creator. And my mother would come in like, hey, why you didn't open up this bag over here? I'm like, Ma, they got my name spelled wrong. And she like, huh? And the bag over here, I opened them all. You know what I mean? Got my name spelled right. They took time out. So make sure they take time out at least to get your name spelled right. You know what I mean? Keep that
That's the
in mind.
first part.
But
So when it came down to what was your
Pitt.
top 3?
I was Pitt. I remember, I got letters from all over, like, don't get it twisted. And not even still to this day, she don't know what position I play. You know what I mean? I was like a tweener. But, it was Pitt. And then I had such a good time at Pitt. I went back to go to Duquesne. Went to Duquesne. Where else did I go? The 5 was Pitt, Duquesne, Florida State, Georgia Tech. And
Rutgers.
Rutgers was like, I've been going to Rutgers ever since I was in 8th grade because shout out to Ricky Robinson. Ricky Robinson used to work for what they call a car rental spot on St. George Avenue. And I don't know, he used to get different cars and I would go up to the party. So when I went to Rutgers my freshman year, people thought I was like a sophomore because they had been seeing my face a lot. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm up at the parties and stuff like that. But those I went back to to hang out, party and stuff. At this time, I'm just partying because I already know I'm going to Rutgers. I'm tapped in. I'm locked in with Chicago.
You did your 5. You did it. You got him out the way.
It even got to the point where D-Rock, Dennis Leonard.
Oh yeah, Uncle D-Rock.
Yo, D-Rock.
Yeah.
Remember when you was in I think you was at the school in Maryland or something. I think it was Allegheny, and you was like, yo, come up here, come chill with us. I know you ain't gonna come here, so I took that visit. Like I was just moving around.
You was just trying to figure. You was just having fun at that point.
I didn't know nothing about no ACC, no SCs, none of that, yo. I didn't know anything nothing about sports to this day. I really, I'm learning a lot now.
So here's a question that I want to ask because people probably don't even get the chance to ask you it. If you could go back in time right now, would you go other than Rutgers? Would you choose another school? If you took the time to really look at the conferences and do all of that, what would your choice be then? I know Wake Forest was one of them.
Yeah, and like I say, leave it up to Ab. Ab wanted me to go to Georgia Tech. He had me locked in with people from the head office and all that. But if I was to do it all over again, like knowing more about as far as the conferences.
Yeah, just knowing more about it.
How could I say it? The accolades you get from going to those schools, this, that, and the third. To be honest with you, I would not do nothing different because of the loyalty Rutgers showed me, not only back in those times, but to this day right now, to this current day in year in 2026. So it was more about the loyalty versus any kind of championship. I always wanted to play my heart out. You know, shout out to Bob Wenzel, Jeff Van Gundy, Eddie Jordan. Oh, man, my tutor, Mia, you know, used to be on me about going to class. I just didn't go. You know, shout out to Nancy. Man, shout out to Nancy. You know, Nancy was in the head office. I never forget when she said, yo, the word is out. Your dad called. Your dad said you think about changing schools because something I wanted, whatever. They made it happen, whatever it was that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So, but man, they did. Rutgers did everything that they were supposed to do. I didn't do everything I was supposed to do.
And that's why. So basically, that's understandable.
To answer your question.
You wouldn't change nothing.
Only thing different is I would definitely went to Rutgers because of the loyalty, and I just would have took up my bargain and did what I was supposed to do as being a student athlete because that was the traditional route that you had to go as far as obtaining to go to the NBA.
Okay, so I understand that part. I mean, I get it. Hey, everybody go through their own journey. Like you said, you teach me that all the time. You never really know what's next for you because God's plan is the only plan that you got to follow. So you got to keep going. So when you got done with Rutgers and you got done with college, you know, you went to Benedict after that.
Went to Benedict. That was a whole
little situation.
Make sure y'all listen like to this because this is my journey. So you got to remember, I got recruited. Got a scholarship to go to Rutgers University amongst other schools. Chose Rutgers University.
Wait. Were you still playing at Rutgers during that Rutgers time?
Rutgers. Oh yeah.
Were you like, did you pop out there? Even though I mean, like, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just need to know. I just need to know.
Mousy made sure everything was good. He used to come up to campus. Might see Mousy maybe like twice a month. Everything was good. You know what I'm saying? And he made sure I was good. He was one of those that was, like I said, to this day, very supportive. I remember I had to sit out my first freshman year.
Yeah, freshman year.
I did just enough, you know, to make it play the sophomore year. And I tell people, hopefully everybody could get this opportunity or this experience. There's two things you're looking for. I know back then we had the P.O. box, right? It wasn't all this, like you could text and all this stuff. You had to send a mail. And there was two things that we would look for. One of those things was a letter from our loved ones, our friends, write us a kite. Or the other one was a rebate check. And that rebate check would be the money you got back from your loan or whatever it was from your
from the school, from like financial aid.
Yeah, you know. So this one particular day when I went, season's over, and I opened up the letter, and the letter basically was saying, you know, your service is no longer wanted here. So y'all listen up. Like, listen up. I don't know what the rules is now or what you got to have now, but if my story could help y'all, I'm all about sharing what don't look good, what don't glorify me. So I found myself, there was like a book, had all different all colleges. So I'm going through the books and I'm calling me. I'm doing this on a rotary phone, 1212 McCandless Street. Hey, how you doing? My name is Waliyy Dixon. I got a 40+ inch vertical. I could jump out the gym. And they like, yeah. Next thing they say is, what y'all think? I'm gonna give y'all a second. What y'all think they said? Yeah.
What's the grades?
What's your grades? Boom. Click. I called this one school. Guy, kind of like deep country voice. Hey. I said, hey, how you doing? My name is Waliyy Dixon. Ran my spill, you know, my sales pitch. My name is Waliyy Dixon, 40 inch vertical. I could do this and that. Yeah? What's your grades, son? I told him. He was like, huh? Well, I tell you what. I'm going to send you a one-way ticket. And you're going to come down to Benedict. So when I got there, the players there was like, and shout out to Chris Bruton. He went to that school. All my guys on the team, love y'all. But I went down and they was like, yo, you must be nice. So I was like, they was like, yo, man, we don't never have practice at 9 o'clock at night because my flight landed like 8:30. True story, yo.
We don't never have practice
and I'm going to tell you the coach, yo, Coach
crazy.
Willie Washington. Yo, love you, man. You gave me an opportunity. Coach Willie Washington. Had to practice, right? So at the end of practice, you know, Joke was just shooting around and stuff. And I did something. And he says, now mind you, we was already going up and down.
Yeah.
But I did something. You know, it was something I would normally do. Like I was doing this with AAU, B. Crawford. It amazes everybody. Like say I'm at the foul line, and I take a foul shot. I run while the ball is in the air. So while the ball is coming through the net, I catch it and windmill it. Boom. I did that, yo. So Coach Willie Washington says, well, damn, what position do you play? And that's how, you know, that one-way ticket, I got an opportunity to go there. And shout out to my guy, yo. That was my roommate down there for a minute. Grandpa, things was a little crazy, you know. At first, I had to stay in the hotel with my father. God bless him, man. He made sure everything was good. You know, me and my partner, he made sure he was good, you know what I'm saying? But Willie Washington gave me the opportunity. One day I was home, Linden, New Jersey. I'm on Wood Avenue. One of my guys who was doing A1 too, he was like, yo, what up, what you doing now? Yo, I heard you was in school. I was like, yeah, I'm down in the South, da-da-da. He was like, well, y'all want to come down there? So I was like, all right. So basically, he was doing what he do, came down, long story short, he did some kind of business with a dope jokers from down there, and you know what I mean, whatever he did, they ain't feel like it was, you know,
genuine
on their rules of engagement. So I felt like, you know, house got kicked in, apartment, you know, man, it was just crazy, like, you know what I mean? But that long story short, I remember salute to Big Lou family. I know he got passed away, whatever, out of Amityville, Long Island. It was like 4 a.m. I said, yo, I'm out. He was like, remember, I got family. You know, we got family down there. So it was nothing for me. I'm out. Called up, pissing up, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? But I bounced, never went back there. So at this time, I had an agent, Eugene Napoleon.
Shout out Uncle Nat.
He was on one of the episodes, and he was like, yo, you want to try one more time, man? You want to try one more time? So I was like, yeah, you know, I'll try one more time. And I got my young son, I got Corey.
One more time.
So I got little Miles right here, you know, and I went to Caldwell College. Never forget my pops taking me up there. I'm coming home on the weekends and stuff. Same thing I was doing at Rutgers, coming home every weekend. And it got to the point where it really wasn't about the basketball. Because I'm in the gym, you know, got like if you know Caldwell College, I don't know if they changed each college, but they got like a little stage in there, some like kind of weird gym, like, you know.
It's different
like
now. It's way different now.
And the players was like moving out the way so I could dunk and all that. But I met some dope guys from there, you know what I mean? But I got kicked out of that school because I thought the teacher was doing explaining like, okay, this is what you have to do your paper about. It was a religion class I had. And they was like, you could do your paper about X, Y, Z. I thought they was giving us a, you know, explanation, not explanation, an example. Basically, I wasn't paying attention. He wasn't giving us an example. The things he had on there that we had to write the paper about, you had to write it about those things. I gets home, I call my sister Cheryl, because my you know, 90% of my family is like Islam, you know, Sunni Muslims. So I went to my sister Cheryl. I told her I need help. I don't know how I figured it out. I said I want to do a paper on the 5 pillars of Islam. You know, she helped me with the paper.
I already know.
When I turned that paper in, yo, man, I got called in, and basically they thought I was making like a mockery type of the school because it was like I think that's like a Catholic school, Caldwell. Whatever it wasn't part of their requirements, or I breached some kind of contract. I'm sorry.
You shook the tree.
I'm sorry.
You shook the tree.
It wasn't, you know, but that was that. And then now it's like, okay, what I'm gonna do?
So when you got back, so right after you got out of there, so now it's time. So now it was the Harlem Wizards, I believe.
Nah.
What was next? What was next?
So
yeah,
let's just say,
what was between that?
I'll never forget, it was a Friday, and I went to who I call the GOAT of Linden politics, is John T. Gregorio, Mr. Gregorio.
Nice.
I went to his office on a Friday, and I said, Mr. Mayor, I need a job. So he looked at me. He said, hey, on Monday, go see my son, Johnny Jr., because they had the scaffolding and all that stuff. They had, you know, construction, things like that. And I said, cool. I was excited. But Saturday, once again, back to the newspaper, I saw a thing in there that had an ad in there that said, try out for the Harlem, was it the Harlem Wizards, the first one? I'm not sure if it was
Harlem Wizards or Harlem Globetrotters.
No, it wasn't a Globetrotters.
No, it wasn't Globetrotters.
I had the opportunity to do the Globetrotters, but they were just for my action, it was just a little bit too strict for me, the Globetrotters. But shout out to them, #1 show basketball team in the world. Thank you for the opportunity. But it was the whichever one. It was either the Harlem Wizards. Okay, yes, it was the Harlem Wizards. I think Shane, whatever it was. I remember they gave me. Excuse me. I got that offer. I went that Saturday, and they was going on a trip. Because like they take trips on weekends, they take trips. So yeah. I was just going for a tryout. I went there, I had this blue bag. And this blue bag had everything that I owned in it. I took everything that I had. And I never was really a clothes guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wear whatever I like. I just had everything that I needed. I had in that blue bag. I had a big gold zipper on it. So when Shane, that's how I met Shane Drill Machine, my brother. Came out there, he was like, yo, Wall, like, yo, where you going with that bag, yo? I was like, listen, man, I'm gonna make the team. And lo and behold, I made the team, and that was my introduction to the street basketball scene. That was dope. And when I Monday, I went back, see Mr. Gregorio. I said, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the opportunity, but I got another opportunity, another shot at this thing we call basketball. And he thanked me, and before his departure, we was just, great friends, very respectful guy.
So it's crazy. So what's crazy is, right, like, I get to ask a lot of questions now, so it's kind of fun, you know what I mean? So I'm having a good time if y'all see this. So people that don't know, you know what I mean, basketball wasn't really a thing for you. You know what I mean? Like, basketball just happened to stumble upon. Like, what did you really want to do? Talk about, you know what I mean? I know for those that don't know, my pops could have been a boxer. Shout out my grandpa. I mean, he was a legit. So I'm gonna let him tell the story for you.
So like, boxing, like everybody who know, boxing, martial arts, that was what we was doing at 548 Magnolia Avenue. My Uncle Jahi, my dad. I remember my dad was like, you know how I go, you want your offspring to maybe just try, not force, but try what you was good at. You know what I mean? Grandpa was a fighter. He one hit a quitter. He knew how to fight. They had 10 kids, siblings. And if anybody at that time wanted to really like get into like boxing and all that, we would go to a place called Kirk Center. And a guy named Mr. Devine. So my pops took me down there. I was nervous. I knew how to, I knew how to fight, you know what I mean? But you don't play boxing.
Yeah, you don't
can play around
boxing
in the house and do stuff, but I got in the ring. Long story short, Mr. Devine, my dad said, well, how you do? And Mr. Devine said, he can fight. He ain't no boxer. And whatever he saw, I'm glad he saw it. Then, Grandma, she was like, she didn't want me to box anyway, because you got to think about it. You got boxer and model. My mother was a model, father's a boxer. My mother was like, she didn't want me to get all hit up or whatever. But one thing for sure, anybody ever came a part of the Dixon family, we definitely know how to defend ourselves. We're not no gangsters, gully, we not invincible, none of that. But we do know how to fight and protect ourselves. But not even from the spiritual, physical aspect, from all walks of life. My grandfather, I didn't get a chance to meet him, Mr. John Dixon, but I did meet him from his children. My aunts, my uncles, I was able to meet him. My grandmother, Stern. Well, grandma's back, Stern.
I already know.
Y'all had to go up there, Grandma Dickens, she did not play, you know what I mean? So my Nana, Maggie Jackson, so it's that cloth right there. But boxing, it just once the goats who said no, like I can fight. Yeah, what I mean? But I do, I didn't, it's just that just didn't work out. And I used to play Pop Warner baseball over there in Elizabeth. My dad, we had me at different places and stuff like that. But basketball became like, B. Crawford to tell you. I had a list. Anybody who they considered this when I started the Street and Smiths is coming out, stuff like that, the rankings and stuff, which I didn't get caught in that. I just was like, who they said was better than me. And Brian Crawford to tell you, I would have a list
of everybody that was ahead of you.
Man, listen. I'd check that list off. Check that list off, man. And like I say, back then, we was playing against, it was competition everywhere, man. I'll never forget a guy, Damon Belly. I'll never forget playing against Anthony Hardaway. And B. Crawford, one thing about him, he had me playing up. There wasn't no classification and none of that stuff they doing now. I was playing on my level, and I might have to travel in a taxi to go over here to play with the older team, you know what I'm saying? So, so I got...
He was in the Wolves from the beginning.
Man. Look at my high school highlight tape, humbly speaking. Come on, man.
So, look, now we get into the nitty and gritty now, so... man, how did it go? How did this whole concept of And1 come about? The main event, Showtime, because you remember... During this whole time that we talking, right, everybody that's listening, he was still playing at Rucker Park. Yeah. During this time, it was, like I said, Wawa.
Could have been coming to try.
Kid from across the water. Yeah. become an attraction, then it became the main event. But this is, like I said, it's kind of really hard for me to ask these questions because I know a lot about the story. So I know what to ask and what not. So here we go. This is my dad, man. Let us God to death. Ain't no script. Ain't nothing. This is something from the heart. For real, for real. Yeah. This is what we do. So look, when it came to the N1 situation, when you were just going for the game, right? When the first mixtape came out, you was just going for the, like, it was just, you was just going to play ball.
Yeah, it wasn't no deals. Like,
it wasn't nothing, right? It wasn't nothing. It was just, you was going to play ball.
It was a play. You know what I mean? It was a play. But yo, don't forget about USBL. I played with the Atlantic City Seagulls.
That's a fact. Yes.
I'm going to stay on that line.
Yeah, stay on that line. Just listen.
Went to the USBL, got a chance to play with the USBL with the Atlantic City Seagulls. Shout out to Richie Parker. Shout out to that whole team, my guys, Mike Jones. We had a crew. We had a nice little crew. But Master P, you already know, Percy Miller. Master P.
That's a crazy team right there.
Master P. My room was right next to Master P.
That's a crazy team.
That was a crazy experience right there. I ain't gonna hold you.
So what's that about? Tell me about that. You done got into it. So what was that like? Like what was being on his team like?
Yo.
Like being with him, I mean, like that was your roommate. I mean, that was y'all was cool.
Richie Parker was my roommate.
But I'm saying y'all was on. I mean,
he So look, so this how we found out. All right, so we know P was on the team, but I would notice, like, in the morning time, I look over, and I see two Miller, because you know his last name Miller.
Yeah.
Was the Miller Bear? You gonna have like two like right there. So that's like you gonna notice that. Like it's, I don't know who was drinking them, but it would be two Miller joints right there, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, that was that. So then came to practice, and this I really found out that he was like right next to me and Richie Parker. So he was, I don't want to say complaining, but he wanted to make some changes to the way they had
the stuff.
Yeah. So he said he didn't have enough channels. So they put a whole satellite dish. A little satellite dish outside the joint, whatever. So shout out to P, yo, you already know. And I asked P, I said, like, why you here? Because he was just on, I think it was the Jet magazine. They were saying he was worth like $500 million. And so P, I don't know if you remember the story, but remember, when you left, when you didn't go on the away games, but you played in the home games. And we built like a little report with one another. And your boy Bates, your boy Bates would take your spot when we did the away games. But anyway, so I was like, yo, why you here with us? I think we was getting like $350 a week or something like that. And he was like, yo, he broke it down to me. I said, yo, it just said you like worth $500 million in a Jet magazine or whatever it was, one magazine, I think it was the Jet or something. And he was like, his goal, overall goal, yeah, the music, this, that, and the third. He said, but his overall goal was to play basketball and get his grandmother, his family out the projects and stuff like that. So basketball was his first like type love. And I'm listening, I'm like, word. And think about it. So now, fast forward, he wound up getting a tryout, I think, for Denver.
He played for the Raptors. He played in the league. So he did his thing.
It always take me back to that moment where it's like, yo, you really out here with us. I tell you, yo, P had one of the dopest intros. Like, yo, one of the dopest intros, you know what I mean? And I'm main event, though. Like, at this point, I'm main event, right? So I remember P called everybody to his room, and he was like, he had boxes, like brown big boxes. I know about the big boxes. You heard me? I know about the big boxes. So everybody over there in P room, tell my boy Mike Lloyd, shout out to Mike Lloyd, yo. And P was like, yo, he was giving everybody the sneakers out, the No Limit joints.
Okay, yeah.
Shout out to my cousin Crazy Highs, because we had 504, and all through the neighborhood, 504. We was representing P, No Limit to this day, you know. And shout out to my guy Rizzo. So I said, I can't wear those. So P was like, what you mean you can't wear these? Cause I got the N1 thing popping off. I think I was playing in some Spreewells or something. You know what I mean? Like I got some poppers over here, P. So he was like, oh, all right. It was all love, but just him was able to facilitate the whole team with the No Limit joints, and we roll with P, man. You know what I mean? We rock with P and the whole No Limit. But that's when I met the first introduction to street basketball, I think, on a worldwide scale from TNT, Conweiser Brothers, much love. They did on Hollow Grounds. I was with that team. We did the party and all that stuff. And then now we back at the let's go back to Rucker.
We back at the beginning. So not the beginning of where, you know what I mean, it took off with N1 and took off with all the everything we talk about. You know what I mean? So yeah, so when it came down to it, boiled down to it, after all of that, I know the story, but for those that don't know, you know what I mean, maybe you want to break it down for them on how it really started. Everybody know mixtape 1 was about Skip. You know what I mean? That was about that, but you just was going there to play ball. You know what I mean? You wasn't
that
really
was just
going.
a regular. It was a rain site, and
It was indoors, right?
yeah, indoor
Yeah.
riverbank. Crazy. It was off the hook. You know, all you know, everything's off the hook, man. And when you look back at it, see, when you're in that moment, you ain't worrying about nothing. You just did to do what you do. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I look back at it now, there was a play being ran. And the play was being ran was that whatever, it was some footage of Skip that was compiled. Some reason everybody had on and one T-shirts. Because Rucker Park, talking about Rucker Park,
For some reason,
EBC,
everybody
the
had on
legendary
Air One
Mecca, you
T-shirts.
know, it's that, like, they said somebody fumbled the ball getting the uniforms or whatever, however it went. But I think there was some plays that we just didn't know about that was being ran. And that volume 1 was featured Skip to My Lou. You know, you can't have a whole mixtape just, I mean, you can have a mixtape with yourself, but it didn't feature other players yet. And I tell people, I don't mind saying it, like, you know, I don't really get into titles and stuff, but I say Skip is the GOAT. You know, Skip is the GOAT. He was every kid's dream, man. Every kid's dream that go on that blacktop. He give them hope. You know, he give them hope. I give them hope that if you don't make it, you still can have hope and make money. But so I say Skip was responsible. Well, Skip was involved with Volume 1, which kind of opened the door, and he did a mixtape. Humbly speaking, I was involved with creating a mixtape tour. It was a difference, you know.
So the mixtape, so basically Skip mixtape started the tour. Like
No.
you was no. I'm not saying his Skip mixtape started the tour, but I'm saying like they
Skip
did. He
mixtape
was
started the
mixtape 1
mixtape.
started the mixtape. Like that
So-
was the you
Yes.
just was able to develop the next plan of the
But
mixtape.
all right, so in And1 eyes, they didn't know what they was going to do for Volume 2. You know, that it became crazy. Actually, let's go back a little bit. I met And1, shout out to my cousin Kill, you already know. I met And1, it was an all-star game. They was going down to Virginia Beach. That's where he met Uncle Pooh Keys and them, right? And
Shout out Uncle Pooh.
that game right there was the camera guys at the time, they was coming to see Ali Mo. God rest the Black Widow. Love you, my boy.
God rest.
Miss you too. They was coming to see Ali Mo. For some reason, Ali Mo didn't go. And they was taking the cameras down. I think Greg Marius was like, yo, something. Y'all should check out this kid main event. And they like, I think I did something in the layup line, struck their attention. Cameras going back up. I think that was Rupert in there. Cameras going back up. And I remember, I'll never forget, I was so hungry, man, I was like, yo. And for me at that time, street basketball, I couldn't wait till the summer come. Mousy had me all around getting checks, yo. I'm in Peligre, Kingdom, Dykeman. I couldn't wait for
You
the
doing
summer
what
to
you
come.
gotta do.
For some reason, Jersey summer ball ain't pay. I don't know, unless I had the wrong coaches, but I didn't even know nothing about that you could get paid to play street basketball till
So you went to New York?
so I started rocking with Mousy.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So
okay.
you get a nice little bag.
So
but-
so did Uncle Mousy ever take you outside of New York?
Absolutely. Yo, shout out to Shafi. I remember one time we was Mousy had a connection. We would go out to Baltimore and play against some of their greats.
Was that Gersh?
No, we was indoor at an indoor joint.
Okay,
I
okay,
remember,
okay.
I said, yo,
Not
Mousy, yo, my
Gersh, I
cousin
forgot what it's
downtown. So when Shot Fees was on the downtown, we had a tour bus back then. Mousy picked him up, was Richie Parker,
Barry Bonds.
a young Ron Artest. Yo, we picked up, I said, yo, we'll go pick my cousin up from downtown, picked him up on the tour bus. Yo, shout out, rest in peace to Fu. Fu was on that bus with us, and we went out there, man. We had a crew. We was killing them, yo. And I'll never forget this story. They was like, the bus was getting ready to leave. We was like on the campus, and the bus was getting ready to leave. And they was like, yo, we about to bounce. And Shafi was like, yo, we got to go find Ron, yo. We got to go find Ron. So Shafi gets off the bus. He walked through the campus. Next thing I look up, he walking back with Ron and stuff, you know what I mean? So, yeah, Mousy would take us out. Mousy, we would do a lot of money games. New York City basketball was just totally different. So I met And1 in Virginia, whatever, and I met this guy named Set Free. And I was like, yo, what you do? I could do your job. You know, he was a brother,
your job.
he was a brother around. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know what he do. I didn't like he played ball or nothing.
I could do your job. It's
whatever
crazy,
it was.
though.
I didn't know what he did at the time. But one came to me, and it was like, we want you to be on volume 2. We'll come out with, it was either 250,000 copies or whatever it was on a VHS. Remember, you got volume 1, got the spark. And I was like, that's crazy. Because I didn't even think of nothing. So mind you, I went from going to see the mayor, playing it over here, and then getting an opportunity. So when that happened, I was like, yo, hold up. I said, nah. I hit him back, and I said, I could get 5 of the best players in the world to market your brand that's not in the NBA. So whoever it was, they asked Set Free, yo, can he do that? And Set Free was like, yeah, like his reputation in the community, da-da-da-da. And that's when I got the okay. I had to prove to them, though. Like, this you talking about, I'm taking them way off whatever they was coming up with.
was doing, yeah.
You know, so I had to prove to them. So we went to I think it was called the ESPN Zone, I believe, in Times Square.
ESPN Zone, word.
I think it was in Times Square. They had us like, I think it was upstairs, had like a little room. I
remember that.
The Zex is there, and I said I could do it. I could do something. I did it. I called the first person I called. Because nobody knew. I didn't reach out to nobody before I told them I'm going to reach out.
That you going to reach out, yeah.
I never had a thought in my mind that they was going to say no. I didn't even know what I was presenting, but check it out. I called up Shane. At this time, we was like doing whatever we had to do in our community, whatever, to survive. And it was a payphone. Called Shane up, right out of Eaton Wall Projects. Yo, such and such and such, yo. He was like, what? You know, Shane, what? Boom. Shane called Future. Future, word. Called Half Man, Half Amazing. Half Man called Aircraft. And then later on down the line, that's when Headache came. And the idea was to take these guys, pick 5 major cities, and we would go out on the weekends. People don't know, our first contract, it was either, I won't get the wrong numbers, it was either $3,500 or $7,500, and that was for 5 games, and we would go every weekend, had the excursion, no security, it was Set Free, it was Q, and we had a camera guy. And this was during a time where, I hope we get back to this, where we would pull up, like say if I met you at whatever store.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, where they play ball at? And you'd be like, yo, they be down at, and we on an unknown soil. We never touched this soil before. So we gamble for this. We just that blood, sweat, and sacrifice and tears and all that. So, yo, they be down at Waliyy Park over there at 6 o'clock. So we pulled up, and it was the big excursion, for the excursion, yo. Shout out for the excursion, yo. Good luck. And we jump out. We like, yo, we got next. And everybody looking around, it might be about 15, 20 people in the park playing ball, whatever. And this was when they boost mobile. Yo, there's a lot of, I'm plugging a lot of y'all sponsors in.
There's a lot of stuff going on, man.
It seems like y'all are part of my story, so I might got to, I don't know, send y'all an invoice.
Talk about.
Shout out to Boost Mobile, man. Boost Mobile, everybody was on their phone. Chirp, chirp. All you hear is the chirp, chirp, chirp. And by the time we got on the court, yo, every look around, yo, the whole community, wherever we was at, Chicago, wherever we was at, yo, the whole community was out there. And we did our thing, and that's how it started. And so where I wasn't selfish, and I took it off of me, because I was like, dang, if I give them all my highlights, that means that somebody else going to be volume 3. But I didn't mind opening the door for somebody else, but I didn't know how I could still be involved. So I involved my brothers who I got faith with. Like I said, with that team, we go anywhere, play against anybody, anytime, whatever, any conditions, whatever it was, we gonna rock
session every time.
And that's how that whole thing started. The first game, I remember those 5 games I mentioned. We was coming from Philly, and someone mentioned, hey, can you do? Now, mind you, they still doing whatever play they still trying to run, but they got to come out with this mixtape, right? So they was like, yo, can you pull a game off in your hometown? I was like, yeah. So I called Uncle Haas, God Rest Slick, and my cousin Snoop. We call him BG, board game. Called them up. All I know is that they had less than maybe 24 hours. All I know was a purple, like a little piece of paper, purple with like writing, like they wrote cursive and made copies of it. You know what I'm saying? That was a promo to come to St. Mark's Park. I have to shout out Bobito. Listen, Bobito, thank you, And he helped my cousin set up the equipment that day. And remember, I'm the only one from Jersey. So the crowd was getting a little antsy. Shout out to Bart, God rest him, man. We lost a lot of soldiers. He organized a team from Roselle. Everybody that came out and played from Roselle and others that played on that team. So the crowd was getting a little antsy. You know what I mean? I didn't really know what to expect. They didn't know what to expect. So Shaheed, rest up, big bro.
Shout out Unc, man. Shout out
R.A.W.,
Shaheed,
man.
Hey, Mello, love you, my boy. You already know the vibes, man.
Willis family, we
you know
love
how
y'all.
we do, man. We love y'all forever.
And I went up to Shaheed. Shaheed had just got this brand new motorcycle. And I said, yo, Shah. I said, yo, can I jump over your motorcycle? He was like, you ever did that before? I said, nah, Shah. He said, go ahead. And this one of my big bros, like, he know I get busy, like, doing what I do. And he was like, go ahead. So I put it between the foul line and dotted line, left hand lane. And by the time the crowd settled down, the limousines was pulling up. And that really was it, man. So volume 2 is 90% in Linden, New Jersey. And then we went on to Hunter College and this, that, and the third.
And kept it going. So, listen, man. Listen, Pops. This right here is, like I said, I'm at the end of my questions because I don't even got to do too much. We don't got to really speak about what you already did, but I never really got a chance to ask these questions being older, you know? So I saw it from a different lens. I mean, like when he's talking about the meeting with N1 at ESPN Zone, I was running around playing games.
Word up.
And he was doing whatever he was doing. I ain't think nothing of it. I was 6, 7 years old. You know what I mean? I'm running around playing games. So being able to be here, sitting with my dad, and being able to ask you these questions, Pops, I swear it's dope. And I know everybody gonna love it because, listen, this was very, very inspirational. You know what I mean? Like I said, we'll have my interview one day. You know what I mean? And one thing that we didn't talk about yet that I gotta bring up is, obviously everybody know the rim fell on your head. But little do people know that before that, him and Half Man dunked together on an alley-oop and the whole rim shattered. That's where it all started at, for real.
That was crazy.
So what was that like? What was when y'all both went up on the rim at the same time and it just shattered on y'all? Like, I know it was funny. I know it had to be funny.
Yeah,
because I know Uncle Half, he be wilding. So
because you getting straight up, you getting 2 different reactions. If you go back and look at that clip, pull up Half Man, Half Amazing main event, Shattered Backboard. Shout out to Auntie Chantel Tremetier. They call her Auntie. Check her out. I know y'all probably know her already. She the one that always got the Nikes on, shooting the different shots and stuff. She hosted a game. I think it was in Delaware. And that's my brother. That's my lung brother. And we kind of think alike. So we saw when the ball was going on, we both thinking the same. Attack the rim. That's what we was taught. Follow your shot.
Follow your shot.
I don't know who shot the ball. All I know is that you see Half grab the rim, and then you see number 4 grab the rim, and our hands was kind of like my hand, his hand, and you could just see where and when I did that, these fools had it was real glass. That's number 1. I got cuts and everything to show y'all to this day. I got all kind of cuts. So I'm more worried about going out, and I'm like, you can look at these. I'm explaining to y'all the energy, right? I'm more like self-mask, my bro self-mask. He was like, you could see him in his shirt. He just looking at me like, you know. And I'm like, I'm more worried about if they got to cut my braids. I ain't have that much braids, so I was like, man, am I gonna be okay to go to the club? Now, Half Man, the way he celebrated was different. I look over at Half Man, and he like, yeah, son, Brooklyn. He just going crazy, you know what I mean? So that when y'all go back and look at that clip, y'all gonna remember this story right here. But I had like blood coming from different places and stuff. I still got stuff from that. But shout out to Chantel Tremetier. She keeps saying I owe her rim. Got to figure it out. Yo, for a long time, remember I used to have a glass in a cup like this. I had it in the joint, but that was hey man, it's part of the game.
that was a part of it. So
Part of the game.
So to go from there to the rim falling directly on the top of your noggin.
But I broke at this moment, even in the gauchos, when we was over there,
so
I broke rims over there too.
So was the broken leg before the rim? Right? It was after the rim. It was after the rim. Okay.
Yeah, that was way
so
after.
yeah, so the rim, when the rim fell on your head, like what was that like? Like I seen it, you know, I was there I listened to your phone call when you called us after it happened. But to be able to watch it, it kind of felt like, damn, my pops went through some, you know what I mean? Some
What you talking about, the rim?
SHIT. Yeah, when the rim fell on your head, to see it, because you called us, you know what I mean? But at the time, it wasn't no FaceTime. It wasn't we had a Nextel phone. Shout out Boost. They used to, I mean, boom, yo, Pop, what's up? Yo, the rim fell on my head. He just stuttering, like he just stuttering, not really saying too much, but he letting us know he in the ambulance, letting us know he doing too much. So what was that like? Like to actually, because mind you, we didn't see it until a week later. It wasn't. Remember, it wasn't no social media for us to be. Yeah. You just telling us it fell on your head. So the week later, we was able to see.
Once you hear that sound, doom, doom, doom.
So I'm like, yo.
Come on.
I'm like, yo, nah, yo, this junk fell on your head. Like, literally fell on your head. Like, and then it was like, it's crazy because not everybody see it. But if y'all go back to it, when it fell on the head, yo, it fell on his head like it was a piece of paper. He just walked off like, yo.
So I'm never gonna forget that moment. I gotta shout out the bro Keith Brown from Linden, New Jersey, from the ward, 4th Ward. He was living in Dallas. He lived in Dallas. I don't know. I think he's still living to this day. Rugby brother Brian Brown, but headache threw the ball off the backboard. I came down like Fat Joe. Yo, Fat Joe wasn't lying when he said I attacked the rim. I mean, what can I say? You know what I mean? And I just boom, and then pow. I thought somebody hit me because if you go look and read my lips, my boy Keith had the Boston joint on. He had the white and green Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
And if you go watch that clip and watch read my mouth, when he grabbed, I go into him and I said, somebody hit me. I thought somebody hit me. I don't know why he was going to hit me, but I thought it felt like somebody just punched me. So I was like, oh, because I'm ready to like, oh, somebody hit me? And nobody, it's crazy because nobody would really say nothing.
They just was in shock.
If y'all look at that clip, we had the security guy, had a tall guy, Caucasian dude, had like the little curly hair, and he like military guy. He like, I gotta put the compression on and all that stuff, because it wasn't really blood. It was just like, it really wasn't blood. I was there on my shoulder. To this day, my joints still be hurting. I don't know if it's a statute of limitation, but the rim hit the back of the rim hit my shoulder, the front of the rim, brother. So anyway, I'm on the ambulance. I made that call. I messed up again, whatever. I got hurt, the rim fell on my head. They bugging at home like the rim fell on your head, so whatever. So now we get to the hospital. And we in there, shout out to my guy, Chris Hightower. He's in there with me, because Chris was the one who ran everything out there, like, you know, player development, and he made sure we was good. Shout out to Chris Hightower, amongst others, but Chris was like, that was our day-to-day, that's our guy. He know everything that's happening, him and Mo, they know everything that's happening. But anyway, he's sitting there, and I'm there. And the first thing they do is they wash it out with the stuff or whatever. I forget what it's called, Bandine, and they wash it out. I'm up the whole time. It never knocked me out. I wasn't unconscious. I was up the whole time. Because the reason why it wasn't so much blood, because she said it was right to the white bone, right to the meat. You could just rocked you, yeah, right? It just hit you right. So all I know is they cleaned it out. Shout out to the nurses, the doctors did. Salute to y'all in Dallas, Texas. And I heard the lady say, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm fine." And she said, no, she said, "Don't talk about your friend." Yo, they wound up had to give Chris the sniffing thing, because he was getting ready to pass out, because he said to them, "Is that what I think it is?" And she said, "Yeah, that's what you think it is." He saw my white skull. It was crazy, right? So boom, he out the room now. And I'll never forget the lady, they were so nice there. And I had like a cape on, like not the cape, but I had the sheet on around me like Superman. I had this 8 so when they let them go back. So they was doing the staples. She said, "And it didn't knock you out?" I said, "Nah." And I'm talking to her through the whole thing, because she said you're gonna need about 6 staples. And all I know is it felt like pinches. 1, 5, 7, 9, 12, 16, 18 staples. Damn. I had 18 staples, like a staple gun. That's the mark right there, if you can zoom in. But that is the mark, boom, right? So she was giving my instructions and stuff, so I'll never forget, Headache, I go into the room, and Headache was like, "Yo, what? Yo, they cut your hair?" Yo, like he was just like, and it was like Superman, you know? And that's why I called, was getting in touch with an attorney, and then in between that, I already had made a deal with And1, right? And pretty cool, but because the way it was I could have sued Dallas, but And1 took over the overall insurance. So I had, just like everybody else was making backroom deals, I made a backroom deal for, negligence. Rim shouldn't fall on my head. And that's when I got a lot of ridicule until I was able to explain myself. I got a lot of flack from L.A., the Laker fans. A lot of flack until I had to really explain what I meant. And a statement I said was, Kobe, you don't got to go through this. Shout out to the Mamba. What I was saying was he don't really have to go through that, right, as far as the rim actually falling on his head.
Yeah, Kobe would never have to experience
that. But the fans, though, they don't want to hear none of that.
They don't want to hear
You mentioned Kobe
yeah.
and talking about he don't got to go through anything, and they was just like, yo, you don't know Kobe. And I was like, no, I love Kobe. Like, I love the Mamba, da-da-da. So that was that. But when I got back, the guys showed love. 3 days later, I was supposed to be out. I still got the staples in my head. Wasn't cleared to play by nobody. And Chris Hightower, a lot of guys was hurt. I think High Octane was out with an injury. I believe half man, half Mason was out. Shane was out, I think, with his knee. And we shut the gym down. I don't care. We shut the gym down. That's what we do. And I was on the side. Chris Hightower went in the game. Because he would play with us. He could play.
Shout out Chris, man.
Yeah,
you got
Chris
banged on. You got banged on so bad.
Chris took one for the team. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I had my tank top on. I'm sitting on the side. And, listen, Chris, listen, I'm going to be on your side. You can't get dunked on unless you're playing D. So,
that's
good
a
defense.
fact. That's a fact.
Good
That's
defense,
a fact.
Chris.
Good defense,
my
that's
guy.
A fact.
So, I look up, and the dude, whammed it. Boom! And I just looked at Chris, and the next thing you know, you just seen main event, say it a day.
Checking in.
Came in the game. I went down one time, came back up. I looked at Ayo. Ayo threw the oop. Caught that joint. And if you go look at that play, the ball went just like this.
Directly over his head.
The Staples back open. I don't know. I probably get some reconstruction. But that was that, man. I was playing. I remember that and one took so long to get the Staples out. Shane was like, yo, what's I gonna wait till them joints get what they call it, rusted?
Rusted.
Once again, I got that too. I got the glass and I got my Staples. And I also got the staple gun too. Because at the end of the day, whoever insurance they paid for it is mine.
It's mine. It's mine.
And that was that. It is a main event.
So this whole journey, Pops, like I said.
The broke leg?
I seen it on the whole journey. It started with the breaking of the rim, the glass falling on you, the rim falling on your head. Then you had a traumatic incident to where the emergency brake went through your leg.
Don't drink and drive.
Now, for everyone wondering, it was the same way.
They thought it was.
As soon as this time, he called us while the emergency brake was in his leg. He called us literally while it was in his leg, talking about something. I got into an accident. This isn't this, and all you hear is the sirens behind them. But like I said, my pops, man, he a soldier, man. That's where we get it from. I know where I get it from. So, like I said, he was able to call us during that time and take me through that. I mean, do not drink and drive, but
don't do it.
Do not drink and drive, but take us through that because this, like I said, it's a part of the journey.
We hanging out, me, Moo, New, Raji, Shawnee Boy.
Coming back from the Nets joint,
usual,
right?
Nah.
Oh, this was before that?
Yeah, usual suspects. We just out chilling and we was rocking. We was just going to different spots, different clubs in Elizabeth, Queen of Hearts, couple strip spots. And I dropped everybody off. And I did the test and everything right at Rod Joint. But the thing about it is that it was December 20th. And me and Shane was like, yo, this year we going, we had got nice little bonus joint. And we was like, yo, we going, because I think your mom wanted a fur and his lady wanted a fur. So we was off to get furs. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get me a room. Yo, people even when I went to court and stuff, they was questioning this. They was like, why did I have a hotel at the courtyard and I live right there in Linden? I was telling them, that little 20 minutes makes a big difference when you're trying to go to Co-op City during Christmas time. I wanted to be the same by a certain time. So I had a hotel room. Everybody thought that was some kind of foul play or whatever. And I went back. I dropped everybody off. I get to the hotel. Somehow I got mixed up, and I wound up on Clinton Avenue, and I hit a parked car, and I hit a tree. The car was damaged, tree still there. And I grabbed the phone, not knowing really. All I know was somebody said, "Yo, you good? Yo, you dirty?" Because I had, like, if you look at my attire and somebody judging by, like, what the person have on, I had the Carhartt on, I had the beef from Broccoli's, I had to fit it on, you know what I mean? Let me see, I came outside with $10,000. I don't know how much the first was gonna be, so I had like $10,000 cash money, and I spent, I think it was $2,000 something, because I had $8,500. They robbed me for $8,500, whoever did it. I thank y'all, whoever it was, because I'll get to that. But anyway, I heard somebody say, "Yo, you dirty, you dirty?" Now that, to me, y'all know what that means if you're in a neighborhood where they asking you, "Are you dirty?" You know what I'm saying? So boom. I called, I said, "Hey, I love y'all." Got into an accident because I didn't know how it was gonna go, because I'm really in shock. And they had the, what's it called? The SkyTels. You know what I mean? And all I heard was like a machine that I never heard before, and it was the jaws of life. So where I was at on Clinton Ave, University might be, I want to say, I could be wrong, it might be like maybe 8 or 10 blocks. But when they cut me out the car, because the emergency brake went through my leg, my tib fib went through the other side. The difference in them saving my leg was I had to get helicopter lifted to University, and the doctor that was there who fixed my leg just so happened someone else had the same injury and they lost their leg. This doctor, I'm not gonna say it was because of the doctor, but this doctor I had, he specializes in tib fibs. They put my leg back together, 4 screws, metal rod, and I remember the phone call. Shout out to my sister Cheryl. She was on it. She was like you couldn't even. You wouldn't have known that I was in the hospital because she worked in that field, the hospital and stuff.
You wouldn't have known.
At that time, she was like, "Yo, he's." She had me under a whole different name. Like a whole different alias.
Just so nobody would know.
So nobody could know. It won't be in the newspaper and stuff like that. So shout out to sis. And even like those that knew, like when Shane called, he just wanted to hear my voice because he heard that I died. Some people heard I lost my legs. It was just a lot of stuff. And then I don't know who this group was, man, but I'm never going to forget this. It was like a basketball team came there. And they came, to show me love and everything. So if y'all looking, y'all know who put that together. Thank y'all. And it was an interesting moment for me, And a lot of people thought I was out because of the rim. Because of the rim. But I was out because of my leg.
Hey, so look. Listen, I'm done for the day. I'm done for the night.
Yeah, we could be here all night,
because listen,
man.
now, for all those out there, this was a special episode of the Alley-Oop Sports Show. This was a special episode. Being able to ask my dad questions that. Now, like I said, I lived through it. I was able to live being part of the N1 tour, being able of his life of, like I said, having games and stuff when my dad wasn't there because my dad's playing N1. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I was okay with that. You know what I mean? But he always was there, whether it was a phone call, whether it was a text message. He was always with me. So don't ever think that, just because my dad was traveling and all that stuff, that he wasn't around. Now, he was always there. He was honestly the person I used to always look to for if I had a game, Pops, what can I work, or what do I need to look for today? And he might not even be around, but he'll just text me, play hard, make sure you get line to line, make sure you do this, make sure you move your feet, make sure you be a team player. And that was just something he always did, So this was a special episode for me because, like I said, man, I love my pops to death, man. I look at him like he LeBron, and I'm 30 years old saying this to him, and I'm gonna say it till he gone, and I'm gonna say it when he gone too.
I'm still better than you.
Nah, never that. I still give you 30 on a good day. Yeah, but yeah, so at the end of the day, listen, love you, pops.
Love you too.
I love what we had, what we got going on, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this, man. Cherish every moment with your loved ones. Don't forget to tell them you love them. If it's somebody that you ain't speak to in a while, if it's somebody that you feel like, we just friends here and there, nah, just call them. Whenever you think about them, call them. Whenever you think about them, text them. Because you never know. Life is too short to be playing games. Life is too short to be trying to compete with one another. So I'm sitting here saying it today, man. Hey, Pops, I love you.
Love you too.
You know how we do.
You already.
And we about to take over the world, baby. It's your boy Rockstar Q, and I'm out of here.
I'm gonna just leave y'all with this. You know, when he was talking about when I was on the road and stuff, and you hear like celebrities or whoever's away from their home, whether you in college, which I call a box, you can't get that time back. So, I mean, I gave Ann like a good strong, maybe 10 years total, just dedicated, full dedication, away every summer. Like I'm still trying to get back some of those times, and even now, even more time with my kids. You know, Quill, like that's time I can't get back, but it's time that hopefully one day my daughter Nakia. You know what I'm saying? So I can't get the time back, but the time that I do have left with them, you know, my family, my wife, my mom, my in-laws, my sisters, my family, my friends, everybody. I just like he said, these are memories that we're creating. Some memories gonna be some memories that may put us in a sad moment, but then we still gonna be able to go back to another memory to brighten us up, and never give up. You never know who you're going to be inspiring, and you never know where the puzzle may be needed. I'm gonna say that again. You never know where the puzzle piece may be needed. You may be somebody's piece to their puzzle, and somebody may be your piece to your puzzle. So treat everyone with respect. And the only ones I really, we all gotta hold each other accountable if you say you love somebody, but the ones I really hold accountable, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this, is politicians. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
The main event.
The Alley-Oop Sports Show. We outside and
Our
we
main
out.
event.
And I'm Rockstar Q.
And we out.
Alley-oop, alley-oop. That's the way the sport goes. Stay the course though. This that skill over our sports show. You getting smaller, I only getting taller. Haters looking so appalled, man. How they think they better than I? Somebody should tell them they should never even try. I remember late night, just me and the Wi-Fi. Screaming, this is what I'm all about. Alley-oop, 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 alley-oop. Throw it up, throw it up, throw it up, throw it up, throw it up. Main and Rockstar Q, main and Rockstar Q, main and Rockstar Q, main and Rockstar Q.